the point is that he started to write up text. These were new discoveries, positive techniques. I began to developing those sessions, which I thought would be of general benefit to improving a person's ability to think logically. Now, you start to, okay, David's sitting there developing this stuff in 1978, developing knots. All I can think of is maybe, what is Hubbard doing? Recovering from his stroke, I guess, you know. But I have I've seen the Knott's materials, and it does says L. Ron Hubbard on the bottom, but it does says DM, initial DM, which David Mayo, at the bottom of those materials. You probably have them, or you can get them off the net. During 1978-79 time period, also became involved in supervising Mary Sue's oddity. In 1979 to 1980, so we're going to 1980 now, and we'll take the 1978 great chart out. And this is David Mayo's 1980 great chart. I think he was kicked out of the church in 1982, and we'll see that gradation chart. And so he changed the knots, and he put it up here above OT7. So knots went from 3 to 4 to now it's 7, above 7. It says knots rundown, knots OT, drug rundown, completion, etc. I actually did that rundown in the church. So here we have the 19, but these are still the original bridge, the original processes, the original OT levels, 1980. The Bridge to New World, same title as the 75 bridge. All right, now, here's the good part. In 1979, 1980, forward to 82. Now, why did you stop at 82 when you got kicked out of the church? I began, for squirrely. I began to develop and release new technical procedures and began a long-term project of studying, researching, reviewing, and correcting, and possibly replacing the existing levels and developing new ones. He admits he's developing new ones. I tell you, I did the Happiness Rundown. He developed that. Survivor Rundown. I'm sure he was had his fingers in Ned, and of course knots. So now, here we were supposed to be, our stable datum is LRH. Now it's David Mayo is running the tech. He is the stable datum, but lying and saying it's LRH. That's all LRH. Of course, he fesses up in this report in 1996 that, hey guys, I did it. I'm not saying the tech's bad. It's not bad tech. You know, I know I've done it. I've done knots, Survivor Rundown, Happiness Rundown. They were fantastic. I did the internship under David Mayo. Fantastic. It's good tech, but you should know, in the field and in the church, that David developed it, not LRH, or helped develop it. He had his fingers in it. Now, that's not all bad. I don't think that's good, because we know that McMasters helped develop power processing for LRH. I think he developed one of the 2 or 3 processes in there, and then LRH did the rest of them. And then after that, LRH started calling himself Source, and you know, power processing was initiated by somebody else. And so are other processes too. But so that's the way it went. So there's nothing wrong. I don't think anything wrong so far, other than them not telling us the truth of who developed what. There had to be a trial, right? This is the next and last paragraph of this is where I have a little problem. And maybe you should too. All right. Let me see. Hubbard, he says, gave him the hat to create tech, and he said he went further in a memo to him to say that it would be up to me, David Mayo states, to develop OT8, which is contrary to PR statements that the church made. OT8 did not exist at that time, and subsequent levels did not exist. You know, them always saying, oh, we got up to OT15, stick with us, you know, you can make it all the way. Well, according to David Mayo, they don't got it. Hubbard left it up to David Mayo to develop the rest of the OT levels. I was further dismayed by this news, as I had really been expecting him to do that. I didn't really expect him to do that. I wondered as if the founder of the subject had not managed to develop these OT levels and OT powers he had claimed for them. How would he expect me to be able to fulfill his obligation? He had just tossed me the ultimate hot potato. I'll come back to this, because this is a key to where the FreeZone sits right now. Because most FreeZoners have availability of all the technologies. If they can apply it to something else. We were all told and expected that the upper OT levels were there. But they're not.